This sweet fruit seems harmless, but one bite can flip a biological switch you can't reverse. Not in a dangerous way, in a protective one, because after 60, certain foods don't just fuel your body, they reprogram it. And dates, yes, those sticky brown snacks, may be one of the most overlooked metabolic allies for seniors today, but only if you eat them the right way. After 60, your body responds differently to sugar, fiber, and even fruit. You might feel fine after eating something, but inside, your blood vessels, your gut, and your hormones may be reacting in ways that build up over time. That's why today we're unpacking what one date, just one, can do inside your system. It's not just about sugar, it's about what sugar travels with, and how a humble fruit could help restore digestion, blood flow, and even gut bacteria, if you know how to use it. Let's explore. 1. Myth. Dates are not like candy. Here's why. Most people over 60 I talk to say the same thing when they hear dates. Oh no, those are too sweet. Just sugar bombs, right? But here's the truth. Whole dates, not syrup, not dried paste, actually behave more like a slow-release capsule than a candy bar. See, when we eat candy, or even something like date syrup, it floods the bloodstream fast. Sugar hits the system in a rush. And after 60, that rush becomes dangerous. Because your insulin response, the hormone that helps sugar move safely out of your blood, slows down with age. So, any sudden spike, that becomes a strain. But a whole date doesn't act like that. Its natural fibers wrap around the sugar like a little mesh screen. Instead of a flood, it's a trickle, not a fire hose, more like a faucet drip. Lena, one of my longtime patients, learned this the hard way. She was grabbing healthy protein bars made with date syrup every afternoon, but her energy kept crashing. She felt foggy, heavy. Her daughter finally asked, "Why not just eat real dates instead?" Lena swapped the bars for 2 whole medjool dates with a spoonful of nut butter, and something shifted. Her energy didn't spike and crash. It just stayed steady. And the science backs this up. A 2020 study from Nutrients followed 100 adults with type 2 diabetes. They ate 3 whole dates a day for 16 weeks. What happened? Their HDL, the good cholesterol, went up. Total cholesterol dropped. And their long-term blood sugar stayed stable. No spike. This is where most seniors get it wrong. It's not the sugar and fruit that's the danger. It's how that sugar arrives. If it's syrup, juice, or processed, that's fast fuel. If it's whole, with skin, with fiber, your body knows what to do with it, especially when paired with healthy fats like walnuts or almond butter. So don't fear dates, just respect the form, because sometimes the real healing isn't in avoiding sugar. It's in choosing the ones your body can still trust. 2. The slow sugar effect that protects aging cells. So here's what caught me off guard. When I first started recommending dates to my older patients, I expected better energy. What I didn't expect was how much smoother their blood sugar became. Frank was one of the first to tell me. He said, "Doc, I swapped my morning muffin for 2 dates and a walk, and suddenly my numbers stopped swinging all over the place." I smiled, because that's exactly what dates are built to do. See, most people think of sugar as this one-dimensional villain, but sugar isn't the problem. Speed is. Fast sugars, like white bread, soda, or syrup, rush into your bloodstream and overwhelm the system. Your insulin spikes, then crashes. And over time, that roller coaster takes a toll on your brain, your heart, even your memory. But dates, they're what I call a slow sugar, meaning they enter the bloodstream gently, and more importantly, they don't confuse your insulin. Think of insulin like a door key. The right foods help insulin unlock the door smoothly. No slamming, no forcing. Dates, they turn the key with a soft click. Fast carbs, they jam it. A 2011 study in the Nutrition Journal tested the glycemic index of 5 common date varieties, including medjool. Every single one scored under 55. For reference, white bread scores around 70. That means dates hit your system more like oatmeal than candy. The beauty here is what that does for aging cells. Because when sugar enters slowly, your mitochondria, the tiny engines in your cells, stay calm. And calm cells, they age slower, they recover better, they live longer. Want to try it? Here's the protocol I give patients like Frank. 2 dates mid-morning, or eat them 1 to 2 hours before your daily walk. This timing helps blunt post-meal sugar and fuels low-impact movement. Frank now calls it his 10 a.m. fix. Not just because it tastes good, but because it gives him stable energy without the crash. He told me, "I used to feel tired after breakfast. Now I feel like I build momentum through the day." And that's what matters most. At this age, energy isn't just about what you eat. It's about when and how it enters your body. 3. Potassium in dates, nature's artery, relaxer. Rosa didn't change much about her diet. She still had her morning eggs, still walked after dinner. But when she started adding 3 dates a day to her breakfast, her blood pressure numbers started shifting. And not just a little. Her cardiologist said, "Whatever you're doing, keep doing it." Let me explain why. After 60, our arteries don't stay soft and springy the way they used to. Years of wear, stress, and often too much sodium, they start to stiffen. And that stiffness makes your heart work harder. But nature gave us something powerful to fight back. Potassium. It's like WD-40 for your arteries. It softens tension, eases stiffness, and helps the blood flow freely. Now, here's the exciting part. Dates are packed with potassium, more than bananas per gram. One study published in the American Journal of Hypertension found that seniors who ate 100 grams of dates daily, that's about 3 large medjool dates, saw a 9% drop in arterial stiffness after just 6 weeks. And Rosa, she was part of that change. Before, she used to feel winded on small hills. Now, she says she feels lighter, like her legs aren't dragging behind her heart anymore. And it wasn't medication. It wasn't supplements. It was simply potassium showing up in the right form. So, what's the protocol? 3 medjool dates per day, ideally before or after breakfast. Pair with protein if you're watching sugar load. Stick to this for 6 weeks, then check in with your doctor. Now, is potassium the only thing that matters for arteries? Number. But it's one of the few that works naturally, gently, and without side effects, especially when it's wrapped inside a whole food. Most seniors think bananas are the go-to potassium source, but they often forget the power sitting right in their pantry. Soft, sticky, and quietly healing from the inside out. 4. How dates feed the gut to heal. Inflammation. Helen never thought of herself as someone with gut issues. She ate her vegetables, took her probiotics, but every morning her belly felt bloated, her digestion sluggish. And no matter how much water she drank, nothing really changed, until her daughter made a simple suggestion. Try adding chopped dates to your oats. Helen laughed at first. Dates? Aren't those just dessert? But she gave it a shot, and within a week, her gut felt different. Not just lighter, calmer, smoother. Why? Because dates don't just feed you. They feed the trillions of tiny microbes living inside you. Here's what's fascinating. Dates contain a unique mix of soluble and insoluble fiber. That's rare. Most fruits give you one or the other. But dates? They're like a buffet for your gut bacteria. Those fibers act like slow-burning fuel. Your bacteria ferment them and produce short-chain fatty acids. These compounds help reduce inflammation, repair the gut lining, and even support brain health. Think of your colon like a long country road. Fiber is the traffic circle. It keeps things moving without slamming the brakes. No backups, no breakdowns. In 2020, a study in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition and Aging found that participants who ate dates daily had a 20% increase in these healing gut markers in just 21 days. And it doesn't take a fancy recipe. Helen just chopped 2 to 3 dates and stirred them into her warm oats. Some mornings she added plain yogurt. Other days, just cinnamon and flax. It became her ritual, and as she said, it's the first breakfast that's ever made my belly feel peaceful. So, if you've been bloated, backed up, or just not feeling quite right in the gut, don't add another supplement just yet. Try feeding your microbiome something real, something sweet, fibrous, and ancient. Sometimes it's not about what you cut out. It's about what you've forgotten to include. 5 polyphenols, the fire blankets, inside your cells. Mark, 75, used to joke that his knees sounded like Rice Krispies every morning. Snap, crackle, population. But what bothered him more wasn't the noise, it was the stiffness, the slow, grinding way his joints resisted movement. He'd sit in his recliner and think, is this just how aging feels now? Then one day he came across a mention of ajwa dates, not just for energy or gut health, but for inflammation. He started eating just one each morning, with a few walnuts. And after about 3 weeks, he said something strange happened. It felt like my joints had been extinguished, like someone put out a fire I didn't realize was still burning. Here's the science behind that. Inside every date, especially dark, rich varieties like ajwa, are polyphenols. These are antioxidant compounds your body uses to protect the tiniest structures inside your cells, especially your mitochondria, the little engines that power your movement, your memory, your energy. When oxidative stress builds up from poor sleep, inflammation, processed foods, those mitochondria start to misfire. That's when stiffness sets in, brain fog creeps up, even fatigue after just mild activity. But polyphenols act like fire blankets. They smother those microscopic sparks before damage spreads. They don't reverse aging, but they quiet it. A 2019 study from the Emirates Journal of Food and Agriculture found that ajwa dates had antioxidant activity 3 times higher than dried apricots, using the FRAP test. That's clinical-level cellular defense from a fruit. Mark's simple protocol: 1 ajwa date per morning, paired with 5 to 6 walnut halves, eaten slowly, ideally with tea. Now he still hears a little snap in his knees now and then, but the stiffness, the fatigue, he says it's been dialed down, like someone turned the volume down inside his cells. What most people forget is, you're not just feeding your body, you're feeding your repair crew, and the tools they need aren't always in a pill bottle. Sometimes they're in the quiet sweetness of a date. Most people think the key to aging well is avoiding everything sweet. Cut the carbs, skip the fruit, be strict. But maybe that's not the full story, because what we've seen today is that one small food, just one humble date, can feed your gut, relax your arteries, and quiet the fires inside your cells. Not because it's magic, but because it's aligned with what your body still understands. Fiber, minerals, polyphenols, the kind of healing that doesn't shout. It whispers. It rebuilds quietly. So maybe the real power isn't in cutting more things out, but in choosing what to bring back in, what to trust again. Rosa, Frank, Helen, Mark. They didn't overhaul their diets. They just chose one thing that made them feel a little more steady, a little more in control, and you can too. What's one food your body has stopped tolerating well, and what's one it still loves? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear. If this video gave you a new way to look at something old, hit that subscribe button. We've got so many more stories to explore together, and I'll be right here helping you age with clarity, calm, and strength. one small habit at a time.